Yo, 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 everybody, it's another podcast, and I'm by myself. It's the solo man. Hopefully that's in good view. I can't even tell, but... Alright, let's get this started. This is gonna annoy me. Alright, hold on. Play the intro. Intro's rolling. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. This is an odd one. Normally we do these on Fridays or Saturdays at the most. But I'll talk about it in a minute. Like I said, hopefully everybody's doing good. It's been a rough week for a lot of us. Busy weeks. Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's the Whyte Room Podcast, episode 14. And as you can see, if you're watching on YouTube or streaming, it's just me. It's me. Uno, one, the sole survivor. That's right. Well, like I said, I've told the guys before, the content has to keep going. Or what's going to happen is we're going to fall behind in analytics. And, we're already having a hard time getting views and pushing views. For some reason, there was a duplicate podcast that we had from it wasn't a long time ago. It was from like 2021, 22, which was the Whyte Room Podcast. And it's still showing up on Spotify, and I cannot get rid of it for some reason. I've tried so much. I've even reached out to Spotify. I forgot what email address I actually used to create it, but the problem is that I don't know what app, because some of those apps, like if you use Libsyn or something like that, they create it for you. Well, you put in a link and whatever, and they send that out. And for some reason, back then, we were only doing the audio podcasts. So somehow it duplicated in every episode that we put out. It put out on Spotify, and I think there was 2 other platforms like that you could look at it. I gotten mostly everything down besides Spotify, and I think it was like Live FM or something like that. I don't know. I can't get rid of it. So I don't know where the views are going, but the one app, the one that I'm talking about right now is got like multiple views in like the 50s and stuff like that. And our actual podcast that we put links out on, doesn't show that much. So I don't know if there's a problem with the viewing, but I don't know. We're getting through it. It'll work somehow. Real quick, as you can see, there's nobody. This weekend we couldn't meet up. Chris, I have no idea. Chris, are you there? Hey, Chris, you want to hang? Chris, you all right? It's a ghost. Nope, Chris ain't here. And Keith, after our last podcast, Keith had a medical emergency, and he was laid up in the hospital for a couple days. But he's home, he's recuperating, he's doing better. Prayers with you, get better. This and that. It's this is the second week. You should be walking, bro. Get your ass downstairs. No, I'm just kidding. So like I said before, we want to keep the podcast going and content moving. I was talking about, I think last one, about TikTok. I can't do lives because we don't have enough. We don't have enough followers. So I'm gonna keep pushing and I don't know if I'm just gonna open up a different TikTok and just leave it as like the Whyte Room, or just do it from TikTok, because I really don't know if I want to do I'd rather do it on YouTube and just leave the videos on YouTube, because it's so much accessible. I mean, it's so much more accessible for people, and a lot of people with all the shit that's going on with TikTok really don't, they're not too keen with TikTok, even though it really doesn't mean anything about what's going on. I mean, I get it, China's an adversary, so, they don't want the Chinese app with everybody using it. Not only that, you know, they're worried about surveillance and poaching people's accounts and IDs and all that. I get it. I get it, whatever. But you know, it's going to happen anyway to all these apps. Look at Facebook does it too. They know all your information. You know, because, yo, even sitting in your house, if you're talking about something, be like, yo, I need a new pair of shoes. You go online and you get ads for shoes. You know, it's like, where'd you get that from? Did my microphone pick that up or something? Because how do they know I was, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna spend like an hour or so tonight shooting the shit. There's two things that me and a couple of the other guys were talking about this week. One, well, let me just jump. I don't know which one I should start with. Which one's gonna take longer for me? All right, let me dip into this. There's this dude, right, on YouTube. Well, he's everywhere, but we've been watching some videos and stuff like that with him, and it's called, I think, was it Darryl Channels Bashar or something like that. It's weird. It's really fucking weird. But I've seen it before. I've seen people who can say that they can channel spirits and people from the dead and everything else. But this guy, he channeled, and I've seen ones that you could like think were real, and other ones that you'd be like, dude, that is completely fake. You just went on social media, found a bunch of shit related to this person, and that's what you're doing. A lot of them have been exposed, so that's why, you know, you can have like a negative opinion about it. But this guy, Bashar, I think it is. I don't want to say it wrong because I don't want nobody to be like, yo, that's my dude, bro. And this guy, he channels this guy, and this guy is an alien. Bashar is an alien from another dimension. I think he said like fifth or fourth dimension. I can't even grasp what he's like, that whole idea of what he's saying, that he's more of a spiritual entity than he is a physical form. But okay, well, let me get more into it. So he has these like talks and stuff on YouTube where he goes to these shows and these like auditoriums to, you know, show, you know, what he can do. And he has got one hell of a following. And like, I've went through a whole bunch of his videos, like episode 1 or volume 1, whichever one it was, 1, 2, and then there was a couple ones at the like colleges, and like there's a lot. And yo, there is more people on his comments like praising him and like following him. I wouldn't say worshiping. I mean, I don't believe in this whole worshiping thing, but like really set on this guy, like, you know, like diehards, like, yeah, dude, I got his back, you know, stuff like that. And like, you know, no matter what he says, it's you know, clean, it's good, it's right, you know. And then there's not many people that are actually bashing him, or maybe they're just deleting the comments. I'm not sure, whatever. But I was reading a lot of them. I'm like, wow, a lot of these people are like seriously into this guy. And if you get a chance, just go on YouTube and put in the search Darryl channeling Bashar, and then just watch some of those videos. Or I mean, you could probably even just put, since it's so wide, you could put just Bashar and or channeling and or whatever, and I guarantee he comes up. But one of his videos I was given, and they were like, yo, take a look at this, bro, you're into this. And I was like, yeah, taking a deep dive. But it's really weird. Listen, his message is very positive. Yo, I got his message. I'm down with that. Like, it's very positive. It's uplifting. It's about making yourself a better person, connecting yourself more physically and spiritually together. And nothing bad, bro. Nothing bad at all. But I don't understand this the stick, like, you know, being like, you know, it's an alien. Like, you know, he definitely kind of changes his voice and goes into this like weird trance mode and stuff like that, which is, entertaining, I guess you could say, more than it is, I don't know. But I was like listening to a lot of his conversations. Listen, a lot of the people, and I've noticed this too with, many people, everybody wants to talk about the Anunnaki and the beginning of the world, life, and everything else, because everybody is trying to find the answer of like, who made us, where did we come from, is this true, about Jesus and God and who was the creators. And he basically goes into this trance in this one episode, and he's basically, somebody asked the question about where did we come from and who created us, and he went into the entire Anunnaki theory, which, I mean, I knew that theory from a long time ago from school. And, you're basically just retelling us the theory. But then, he goes into other things. Like, this guy, Darryl, he must be very, very smart. Like, he's a really smart guy, intelligent, knows what he's talking about. Because if this is, like, fake, meaning, like, there is no Bashar, but he's actually using Bashar as, like, his platform to get the message out of about how, being a better person, then, I'm all for it. I guess it works. It works. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But some of the stuff, like, that he was saying, like, and it kind of threw me off. Like, one of the guys was like, one of the people in the audience was like, well, where is your ship? Like, where, like, you say that you're on a ship, and you're like, I don't know, like, above us or something like that. And he was like, yes, I am above us. I am floating at 900 feet. And then the whole crowd, like, goes crazy. And they're like, yeah. What? What'd you say, Bashar? What? But, everybody's like, 900 feet. And he was like, yeah. And we are right now located 800 feet. 700 feet off the ground. Going back up to 800 feet, floating. And I'm like, come on, bro. What? All right. You got the audience. You got them in your grasp. And now you're just throwing a little ketchup on the French fries, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just dragging them along a little bit more. And then like, his whole message, I get that, and then when that comes up, and I'm like, oh, dude, you're making it hard, bro, for me. Like, like being like it's not even about a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. It's just being like, yo, dude, chill with that, because what 900 feet up in the air, bro. What is Statue of Liberty is like 350 feet up. That's how tall it is with the base and everything. So I mean, you're basically talking about roughly 2 Statue of the Liberties plus more up in the air, and your craft is up there. Like, you have to come from orbit and get close to the ground so that you can channel with Darryl. So how does Darryl make the phone call and is like, yo, Bashar, I need you to channel through me, so can you just come into orbit and come here? And I'm not sure. Like, I try that's what gets me. But then, that distracts from his message of how, becoming a better person or becoming more spiritual with yourself. I don't understand the jumping dimensions, and once you finally get to the 5th dimension, you're more of a spiritual being, and that you can be one with everything that's going on, because there's so much more going on that he explains that you're like, are you kidding me? Really? Is that the way it is? Like, well, what's going on? And it really doesn't reveal way too much. It's mostly stuff that yourself, like if you study or if you read the Bible or any kind of the Quran, King James, anything like that. You read the Book of Enoch, the other scriptures, the banned scriptures. he enforces the fact that the Anunnaki was basically our creators, that our Lord, our creator, was actually an alien which came to this planet. The Anunnakis came here to take resources, gold and whatever stuff they needed back for their planet, which was going to help them with their atmosphere and their planet and everything else like that. So eventually they had, the Anunnaki had, if you think of it, it was like slaves, right? They had slaves, and the slaves revolted, and they had been working so hard that they revolted. So then the Anunnaki found that they were working them too hard and it wasn't fair, blah 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 blah. So then what they basically did was they found the primates, that were on the planet at the time, which was us, in a different form, a lower form, I don't know, ape, I don't know. But then they supposedly injected their DNA into our system, and that's, years and this and that and evolution. Some of these guys, which were Anunnakis, were like 9 to 1,000, 1,200 years old. And it's just weird. And then like he also goes into the fact of like saying that then we started to mine and do things for the Anunnaki, and we were being taught all these different things of engineering and how to build, how to, like the pyramids, like how they created the pyramids, and what technology they used to raise the blocks and do all this other stuff, which kind of makes sense. It fills like the void of how did that, like, engineers today and stuff like that, like, yeah, we could build stuff, and we're very, very good, very fast. But back in the day when it was supposed to be like non-technology, it was more of carrying and doing stuff. Like how were they able to do that, like, without having machines and all this other stuff? Well, they actually did. I mean, and it shows on the hieroglyphics on the walls on a lot of the places in Egypt and in all those other places. It's just crazy, like, when you go into it. And he basically talks about the present, the future, and he made a lot of predictions for 2024, saying that we were going to a different phase, a different change. Now, you could take that for what it is, and then you could be like, all right, well, tell me one change, but they all go back to the same thing, and they'll say, well, it's a change in consciousness. And you're like, what? Like, you're going to be more awake to what's going on and all, I'm not saying that's what he's saying, but there was a lot of other things, and I don't want to make this a long podcast about, bashar and everything else like that, but it's just something cool to talk about, because if he is, right, I mean, there's no way to prove that he is or he isn't. There is no way to prove, because whoever bashar is in his head that's actually talking, or if he's just running this as a stick, like, hey, I'm bashar, he's the... Sorry. Hello? 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 Oh my God, my mic went off for a bit. Sorry! But like I said, it's usually hooked up to a hub, USB hub, because we have all this hooked up here. But since it's just me, it's in the computer, and I guess from the hub, it's loosened the shit out of it. But what I was saying is that he's going to be the only person that's going to know what he's saying. So there's no way to validate it or, say if he's lying or not. Because, it's possible that he's not, and it's possible that he's just trying to spread a message. And, I'm pretty sure he's getting paid to do all these things. And I'm not knocking the guy at all. Listen, if that's, whatever you do to make money and it's profitable for you, good for you, bro. I'm down with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I probably wouldn't pay to go see him. Like, or another guy who's channeling some kind of spirit or something like that. I don't believe it. You know what I mean? I've seen plenty of that. And like I said, I've seen, good things. Like you could be like, oh shit, maybe that's true. Maybe this is right. Maybe this person is connected with somebody. You know, because there are mediums and there are people that can see and hear, feel presence. I'm going to get into that. Oh. Hello again. Hello again. Every time I move the computer desk, now I can't move that. I'm like stuck now. I should just be like this the whole time. I'll get into that too. I have another topic I want to talk about. But yeah, that's basically sums it up. And then it's, you know, what's funny too is like there's a guy that he's an atheist and he believes in science and everything to do with mathematical equations, everything. So every time he goes on live, you know, he'll say, come speak to the atheist and let's talk. And everybody would go on there and be like, how could you not believe in God? And be like, okay, good question. Well, you know, I'm an atheist, so number one, I don't believe in that. I believe in evolution. I believe the Big Bang. I believe this and that, because those things can be proven. They can be proven to a certain degree. What you're saying is faith. And what faith is not, and it can't be proven. But here's the deal. One thing that separates us from everything is the fact that we do have faith, right? Like in the last podcast, I said, you know, when I said to the guys, they said, do you guys really believe in God? Seriously? And they were like, no, blah, blah. You know, even me too. I was like, no. You know, I'm on the fence with that, and I got to teeter back and forth because I was raised to believe in God and everything else, which I still do, right? But there's just so many holes and loops and stuff that's going on with religion that makes you, you know, pull away and be like, man, why do they keep talking about the Anunnaki? You know, it's just, you know, you think about it like the Old Testament, okay, that's, you know, structure. And then you go into the New Testament and, you know, those books were all made from man. Man created those books. They wrote them down. They did that, you know, and it was every man's interpretation for what is going on at that certain time. So then you look at that and be like, well, then what the hell happened with Enoch? It's like Enoch was like completely left field when it comes to that, and they took it out of the Bible. They took it out of the, you know, New Testament. So you're like, all right, the book of Enoch, you know, I've read the book, and it talks about a lot of the stuff that everybody else talks about. The creators, the creation, this and that, and people coming from the skies. And vaguely it does, you know, it's just, it's a little different, you know what I mean? So everybody's interpretation of things is different. And just like he said, you know, but these guys are kind of nasty too when it comes to, you know, when people talking. You know, faith is one thing that you can have, you know what I mean? And you can use that and believe in that. Because, I mean, there are things that you can't explain. They will sit there and tell you that there's nothing that can't not be explained. That everything is valid to the point of where we can explain it or run tests and stuff to make a valid point, make this, make that. It has to be true, you know. And I don't think the world is like that. I don't think even your spirituality is like that. I think, especially the conscience, right? There's nothing that you can do, like even when somebody spoke to one of those guys about your conscience, because technically, yes, you know about the brain, you know, science and everything else, and health and things like that, and you know, you can explain the brain, how it works, how the signals and how they're, you know, electrons and neutrons and flashes and through your brain from one side to the other side, where your thought process comes from and everything else. But the one thing that you really can't talk about is your conscience. It's what makes you you. What creates you. What makes your personality. You know what I'm saying? There's no chip in your head that's like a personality chip. You're like, oh, this is Rob, personality chip 101. Click. That's who I am. It's, you know, there's a lot more to it that leaves an opening for people to be like, okay, so what really is going on? What really makes us like things like that? Now, let me just move off the Bashar thing real quick. Like I said, if you want to look for it yourself, look for it on YouTube, Darryl channels, Bashar, and start going through some of his YouTube channel stuff. There's plenty of it, and you know, just take it lightly, and you know, just listen to this, what he's trying to portray and say. But he's actually, I guess he feels that people are going to listen more to Bashar than they would to him, you know, because there's so many people talking stuff, and so many people who want you to listen and believe, you know, their side of, or their opinion of things. So, all right, another thing I wanted to talk about. This really cringes me, and I've been looking at this for a couple days now. I jotted down a whole bunch of notes and a whole bunch of stuff for this. Let me pull this up real quick and make sure I got everything right. Now, I'll go into the story real quick. I was raised and born in a haunted house, and a lot of people be like, bullshit, no you haven't, blah blah blah. Listen, if you know me and you know you grew up with me and this and that, and you know, you'll know the stories that was told, you know, in my house. When I was a kid, I was able, well, I'm not going to say I was able. I saw doors opening, doors closing, windows opening, windows closing, things moving, things out of place in the morning, shadows outside, noises, weird things, you know, things that make you go, you know, Ghostbusters. But it was wild for a while I was growing up, and I was afraid to actually tell my parents because I thought I was maybe a psychopath or something like that. Because remember, back in the day when I was growing up, I was born in 74. So when I was growing up, maybe like 78, 79, around then. Yo, it's funny. It's like, so how long ago was that, bro? Around that time, like, I started noticing things that weren't right. You know, things were going on and stuff like that, and I was able to pick up on it. Like, I was sensitive, like, to things that were going on, and I never really said anything. I did say, like, later on, you know, that, you know, did something happen in the house because I've been seeing stuff. And there's been plenty of times that as I grew older, way older, my mom would be like, well, it was one time we were at Christmas dinner, and at the time my grandmother passed away. My aunt wasn't living with us my mom's house, wasn't living in my mom's house, and we were downstairs. My upstairs was empty, right, because that's where my grandmother lived, but she passed. And we were sitting at the table. We had all my kids, plus we had our adopted daughter, and all of a sudden you heard upstairs the table move. Not the table, it was a chair, I'm sorry, chair move. And everybody just looked right up, like looked up at the ceiling and stuff like that, and then we started talking about it. So my mother turned around and says, leave them alone. And I was like, leave them alone? Them? Like, okay, so there's something that you're not telling us, right? So at the time, my adopted daughter, Maria, she was like, I don't believe it. That's not true. Nothing. I was like, there's nobody up there. There's no cats. Nobody has. My mom hates cats. There's nobody here. There's nothing. It's true. It is what it is. She's like, no, I want to see it. So, okay, no problem. So we left the table. We went upstairs and we went to the door, which was open. Weird. And all of a sudden, the chair pulled out. It came across the floor only a little bit. She jumped up, jumped down the flight of stairs, like not even touching the stairs, and, you know, ran into the house and stuff. And I just walked down the stairs because, yeah, I've seen it before. You know, it's not going to hurt you. You know, it's just stuff going on, things like that. But, you know, so that's kind of where my background was with things. And later into life, for some reason, I lost the gift of seeing stuff and being able to, like, there's been a couple times, like, since I left the house, that, you know, when I was with my wife, that things would happen, like doors would open and stuff like that, but not even close to the amount of times that was going on in that house. Like, there was plenty of. Some of my friends are like, "Yo, call ghost hunters," or call we call it East Coast spirit chasers. You know, call. My mom wouldn't let anybody come in the house and do any of that stuff. Maybe before they sell the house and get rid of it or do whatever. You know what I mean? Let somebody come in there and do something upstairs, because upstairs seems where all the well, I can't say it's just upstairs. Since I don't live there no more, so I don't know what's going on. But what I do remember, there was a lot of activity on the first floor, but on the second floor there was immense activity. I don't know, maybe spirits that didn't want to leave the house, or leave the grounds. I have no idea. But like I said, as I got older, I kind of lost that ability of that sixth sense. The minute I started working and having to pay bills and being fucking miserable, everything went out the window. I just lost everything. So while I was in college, which was a couple years after we moved off the block and me and my wife got an apartment, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. But while I was in college, I joined a local group, and that was okay. But then I joined a bigger group that was a traveling group, like, you know, your average ones that you see on TV and stuff. And, you know, they were like, well, what do you do? I was like, listen, I grew up in a haunted house. That's why I'm used to this. I am not scared of it, not even a bit. I'm so used to the sounds and noises and shadows and things like that. As long as, you know, you don't get touched or nothing, you don't get hurt, nothing like that. It's not malevolent. It's okay. You know, so I'm not worried. I won't be running out of nowhere. And especially I'm not breaking a leg or doing something. So we went to a couple of those haunts and things like that. And I was kind of, I don't know, I got a bad taste on a couple of the, yeah. I feel like if there's something there, or if you're in an area where, you know, you're going to find, or it's known for it, it's going to show itself to you no matter what, right? If it wants to, you know. What they're saying is you see, that's another thing too when it comes to the paranormal. I know we're going to get into that, but the paranormal it's a science, but it's everything that you can't really explain is paranormal, you know, because it's neither here, neither there kind of deal, you know. So, you know, we would go into a couple of these places and stuff, and I felt like the best thing to always do was to carry, you know, a digital recorder. And back then, those digital recorders were a lot of money. You know, they had the little tape deck in there and stuff. And I would go sit down somewhere and sit alone in the dark is the best, because then it's just you and whatever's in that room or whatever with the lights off, because it gives you the ambience of being alone in the dark. But, you know, you would sit there, you would say, hello, my name's Rob. I'm just here just to, I don't know, just to hang out. If you want to talk, you want to say something on the thing. I'm probably not going to be able to hear you, but it'll be nice if I hear your voice recorded. And then you sit there for a half hour with the tape recorder running. Most of the time you would catch fart noises and burps and stomach noises and things like that. But there was a couple times like you would hear like I've heard it, like a faint, like either a breath that wasn't yours or somebody whispering, but you can't really make it out. And back then the technology was really rough. So nowadays maybe it would be better. I mean, I've always wanted to join another group and just go do some investigations with them and see how it is. But there's some things that I don't believe in. Like the spirit boxes, I don't believe in that. That's like a ham radio scanner. You know, I know everybody has their opinions. I just feel like that. The digital thermometers, okay, they're good. It's a great idea to find, like they say, you know, when a spirit is trying to manifest, it's sucking all the heat out of the room or energy or whatever. so you can get cold spots and this and that, which I do believe. I do believe like random cold spots could be something. And an EMF detector is good. In my line of work, the problem is electromagnetism is everywhere. And, you know, if you have a high count of EMF, you know, you can feel sick. You can feel dizzy. You know, it affects people everywhere different. So it's good to see that, especially in old houses. And like a lot of people who are doing these things go into these old houses. And, you know, the wire is exposed. It's, you know, ribbon wire, or if not, it's cloth, or it's tube with, there's so many things. And it not being shielded, and power is power, and you're going to pick up, you know, EMF readings. Unless you go into a place that absolutely has no power at all, like a barn or something that's like a house that's abandoned, and there is none. There is no power hookup. There's no nothing. But then you can also pick up electromagnetism from the earth. So it's kind of rough. So you would have to understand the values of your how high it is and this and that. But so now getting into this after I just said that, right? And this is like when I first heard this was crazy. So what the Vatican this week, right, is releasing a document, right, about apparitions and like how to deal if you come across or have an experience that's not normal, meaning paranormal or ghostly. And let me read this to you, because this is right off the Vatican's website. I didn't go nowhere else about this. I went right to the Vatican. The Vatican's Doctrine Office will publish a new document next week. This was from last week. So they're talking about probably, what was it? I think May 17th, which would be this Friday, which is cool because if we do get another podcast, we're definitely going to have more information from what was released, because I cannot wait to read what they are releasing. And you can get it right from the Vatican's. Go online and go on to the Roman Catholic Church, Vatican, whatever you want to do, and pull it up. I think this is right from the Vatican's website. Yes, this is a Vatican. And it's going to be like in a PDF file or something like that, but it's a press release. So the Vatican's Doctrine Office will publish a new document next week on discerning Marian apparitions and other supernatural events. What the fuck? Yo, this completely throws out your Catholic school teachings, right? You weren't supposed to believe in this. Like, you know, back in the day, they thought kids were crazy if they saw ghosts and shit. My father even told me, he's like, yo, you would never talk about that, because they would take you, they would put you on tons of drugs so that you would lose the feeling of being able to, or they would stick and give you a lobotomy through your fucking head and make you like I don't even know how to say it in a nice term. But this is crazy. This is seriously crazy. The Holy See Press Office announced... What? Holy See Press Office? Holy See... I don't know. Announced on Tuesday that the Cardinal Victor Manuel Fernandez, the prefect of the Decretae of the Doctrine of Faith, will unveil new norms for... New norms! New fucking norms. What? What is going on? Bro. This just makes... This shit, right? Just makes everybody who's into these conspiracy theories and all this other stuff right through the roof. Right through the roof. Because there is so much going on from before the eclipse to after the eclipse to the northern lights in HARP. HARP was what was it, 3 days before May 10th, was it? 3 days before that, they were doing some kind of testing with frequencies, high frequencies, and that they were shooting it off into the ionosphere. And, you know, it just makes everybody keep saying, you mean the firmament, You mean the firmament, Rob. You know, waters above as waters below. You know what I'm saying? And here, we could do this. 2,000 years ago. Yeah, okay. All right. Hello? Okay, I had it again. Okay, new norms for regarding apparitions and other supernatural phenomena on Friday, May 17th. Please, oh please, oh please, 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 don't disappoint. Oh, I cannot wait to read this, man. You know, this is like connected dots for me too when I was a kid, because I saw. Oh well, listen, the worst or the most scariest stuff I've ever seen is little flames, and not lying. Like, say if you had a candle, and you know the little flame on the candle, and I would see, you know, do we have electricity? I don't have candles, especially like, you know, those old candles. You would see a little flame sometimes, and it wouldn't happen to be just at my house. It would be at other people's houses too, like other places where I went to. You would see like a little flame, and I'm like, what the fuck is the little flame? Then I found out later now that that's a spirit. Sometimes people say demonic, sometimes they say it's a good spirit, this and that. It's just it manifesting itself, and they might all be around us all the time, but for me, I was able to see, you know, a little bit more than whatever. But that lasted for a long time. That lasted high school. It didn't get worse, but it maintained. You know, I guess I was just getting to the point of like, oh, that's just normal. But like, I would, you know, like one night I was in high school. I think I was a senior or a junior, and my bed was shaking. I thought it was an earthquake. I woke up, I went into my mom's room, I was like, yo, was that an earthquake? And they're like, what are you talking about? I was like, my bed was shaking. And they were like, no, our bed wasn't shaking. I was like, maybe you just slept through it. And they're like, no, maybe it didn't happen. And I'm like, you're right, it didn't happen. Maybe I was dreaming that. You know, and just unfortunately I woke up from it. I don't know. Whatever. But in an interview with the National Catholic Register, CNN's sister news partner last month, Fernandez, said that the document will provide clear guidelines and norms for discernment, whatever. The new norms will be the first time that the Vatican's doctoral office has issued a general document on apparitions in 4 decades. Pope Paul VI approved norms on the discernment of presumed apparitions or revelations in 1978. Wow, 1978. And I started seeing things like 78, 79, 80. That's crazy. That is crazy. But here, this is even the best part. Now, if nobody knows what these Marian apparitions are, that's people are like reported appearances of seeing like the Blessed Virgin Mary, believed to come down from the heaven to the earth. These encounters often include messages that Our Lady wishes to convey, depending on the nature of her visit, that they range from a single brief appearance to several over the course of years, which is like that one with the Blessed Mary, what is that, in Fatima or something like that? I didn't do my research, I'm sorry. Or the statue of Jesus overlooking, what is it, the Mary, she cries, or she weeps or something like that. I forgot what it is. But see, now that this is being brought up, I'm gonna dive so fucking deep into this, because this is getting crazy. You know, you would never think, never think, right, that the church would come out with this information. That would just tell you and make more proof to what is the Vatican hiding. What is in there? Is the Ark of the Covenant in there too, bro? Was Indiana Jones right? You know, I mean, like the Templars, the Masons. You know, what really is going on with all this stuff? And like I said, I am a Freemason. Don't come at me! right now, Freemason TikTok is going crazy. Everybody's trying to expel everybody. Oh, please, stay out of that. Stay out of that. I'm a good guy. Although I had to take my flag down from my house. My wife was getting pretty crazy. She was like, do you know that they're beating up Masons and throwing bricks through Masons' windows and this and that? She saw some video on YouTube, and I'm like, yeah, I've seen that too. And she was like, so why do you got the Mason flag outside your window? I said, well, because I want other brothers to know that a brother lives here, and if you need something, just ring the doorbell. I'll be happy to help you. You know, that's what we do. And she was like, so, do you want to open the door and have a brick get thrown at your face? I was like, okay, I get it. I'll take it down. It's in the basement. It's safe. Okay? But, I mean, it is what it is. All right, let me get back to this. I'm trailing, bro. I'm trailing. I like how it says, if you'd like more information, please feel free to ask. Ask who? Ask who? This was all downloaded and printed from the Vatican. So, let me see. Let me just briefly go through this real quick. Fernandez will speak at a live stream Vatican press conference at the noon on the day of the document's publication. Oh, you know, it'd be crazy doing a live. Yeah, because you know what? All the TikTok guys are going to be doing a live stream from this, and I'm not going to be able to. Oh, I got to get the Facebook Live working. Or I could just live stream right to YouTube. I mean, we could do that. I mean, doing it now, but it's not live right now. I'm so technology behind. I got kids that are very well into technology and computers and everything else. You'd think they would help me out just a little bit. Be like, hey, Dad, you used to be so good with computers and networks and this and that and all this other shit. Now they're like using devices to unlock Wi-Fi passwords and doors. I'm like, man, when we were growing up, we were like, yeah, man, I'm a hacker because I can hack Commodore 64 video games. And you'd be like, no, man, you're not a hacker. You know how to break game code, though. Oh, whatever. But, so the second, the announcement comes with Fernandez and Mateo met privately with Pope Francis on May 4th, a meeting in which the Pope likely reviewed the forthcoming document. The Catholic Church calls for great prudence in examining the facts related to the presumed apparitions or revelations. What? What has been going on? Yo, wasn't it back in the day, right? Like, say if they, and I've read this somewhere, but the church is the first line of defense. Okay, whatever you want to call it like that. But the church is the first line. So if you have an experience, they have to come and document it and then examine it and then go through their courses and stuff like that. And I remember I was reading something somewhere, and I forgot. And there was a whole bunch of cases that the church took, and they didn't come out and say that it was true, but somehow those cases became, oh man, I gotta look this up, bro. Where the hell? Oh, no, it's here. Oh shit, I didn't even know what I printed. Sorry. Throughout the ages, there's been so-called private revelations. Bro, I can't even talk. Some of which have been recognized by the authority of the church. Yo. So-called private revelations, some of which have been recognized by the authority of the church. They do not belong, however, to the deposit of faith. I get that. Paragraph 67 of the Catechism of the Catholic Church states, it is not their role to improve or complete Christ's definitive revelation. So, Christ coming back, Christ this, okay. But to help live more fully by it in a certain period of history. Yo, can you decipher that by just reading it? Bro. Yo, you know what this sounds like? This sounds like manipulation. Yo, but to help live more fully by it in a certain period of history. Meaning that the Catholic Church, oh, this opens up so many doors. Guided by the magisterium of the Church, the sensus fidelium knows how to discern and welcome in these revelations whether constitutes an authentic call of Christ or his saints to the Church. Oh my God. Bro, I don't... Dude, I'm getting goosebumps, man. Goosebumps! Bro. Can you just, like, for a sec, think about that, yo? Think about what they're saying, man. What is coming? Oh my God, all these people that have been saying that the second coming, or that this is the year that you're going to see... It's not about seeing, it's about stuff that's happening. So what are they talking about? The fallen angels, the saints of the church, from the church. The saints, God, this. Bro, is God coming back to prove all these other people wrong? And myself, I do believe in you. Stop. No thunderbolts. I'm already going through enough pain in life. Please, take it easy. Oh, man. Remember, I went to Catholic church. I went to Catholic grammar school, Catholic high school. Shout out to Marist. Okay, please. I was actually Jesus Christ one time for the Stations of the Cross. Gotcha. Oh, man. Yo, that's one hell of a document. That really is. And that is a fucking eye-opener. Wow. Now, is this smoke and mirrors? Is this covering up something else that's going to be happening soon? Is this got to do with... You know, what sucks is the fact that we are not in the know. You know, when it comes to, like we have to find stuff like this and, like, you know, and... You know, it's funny, a long time ago when I was working for my old company, there was, in Newark, South Orange, there was the... I forgot what they called it. But it was the school for priests. It was like the Mastering. Oh yeah, the Mastering, right? What was that name? I don't know. But it was the Archdiocese of Newark, and it was their school, like for when the brothers go to school. And inside there was like on one floor, because we were doing cable in there, because there was a cable problem, and every room had cable, and there was like 20 rooms on one side, 20 rooms on the other side, and it was like that in floors. It was so many people that were, you know, going to school to become, you know, priests and take their vows and, you know, for Christ and this and that and whatever. And there were so many things going on in there. And I remember one time, and I was in one of the rooms, and the priest came in. He was a nice guy and things like that, but he wasn't your typical priest, like a typical... He was like... it was weirder. But I was talking to him, and, you know, I said to him, you know, you look kind of cool, like, you know, I was like, you know, he was like, so, you know, I'm trying to, you know, going for my vows and stuff like that, because I have the calling from God. I was like, okay, you know, keeping my ears open, you know, not being rude and intelligent. And I was, you know, doing what I was doing, blah, 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 blah. So I stopped him real quick, and I said, listen, hold up. Put the brakes up. I said, you're a young guy, right? And he was like, yeah, I'm 24. I was like, do you feel that your life has been fulfilled? Like that you want to take the vows, which is celibacy and, you know, giving yourself to the Christ, your Lord, you know, this and that. And he was like, yeah. He says, I'm ready to give up everything. And I was like, wow, that is one hell of a commitment, bro. You know, like, I don't... More power to you in a way, like I'm really happy for you in a way that you're giving up. So I said to him, and he was like, well, you know, you yourself, he's like, you should look more into, you know, Jesus Christ, because that's the answer to everything is Jesus Christ. And, you know, even back then I was screwed up in the head, and I was like, no, the answer is the Anunnaki. No, but you know what I'm saying. But I was, I said to him, I said, nah, that's a big commitment, man. I already have kids and stuff. And, the best thing for me to do is to keep them in the path of the church and, let them believe in Jesus Christ and God and Old Testament and things like that. And then when they get older, they could decide on what they want to do. And, he looked at me, he goes, that was the second best answer. If mine was the first, yours was the second. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He goes, that's all God could ask you to do. If you chose to have kids and this and that, then that's the path that you're going to follow. And that's what you need to do, is to show them and then let them decide themselves. And hopefully they will stay. And I was like, wow. I was like, listen, you probably hear it all the time. You're a young kid, this and that to yourself. And I said to him, I was like, how do you know this is real? And he just looked at me and he goes, what's real? I said, how do you know this whole religion thing is real? I said, the book, of the New Testament was written by man, everything this and that. And he stopped me real quick. And he said to me, he says, those who talk in doubt are not striving for the path of righteousness, of the Lord. The Lord knows that you're going to, doubt and this and that, but your faith is what's supposed to guide you back to that path. And he was like, and technically, he says, everything in this world is the Lord. It's made by God. He goes, and everything is blessed by God. So whichever thing you feel and everything that you get yourself into, just know that God is watching. And he won't give you more than what he thinks you can't handle. And I was like, damn, you got me, like, I just going to use some sick time and I think I'm going home. You know what I mean? And he was like, you're never going to be able to say for 100% that you believe because you've seen or this and that. He goes, it's not about seeing, it's about believing, it's about your faith. He goes, you might see. He goes, I haven't seen. He goes, I've not given. He says, there's plenty of things that I could say. Hey, the Lord gave me this. The Lord showing me this. The Lord showing me that. He goes, and that's what I believe. But I haven't, the Lord hasn't sit across the table from me. And he said to me, I am the Lord, blah, 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 blah. And that's what you're looking for. He was like, and you're looking for a positive outcome, meaning like you want a definite answer that this is true. He goes, but you have to have faith. And faith is what drives you. And that just goes right back to the beginning when I started this podcast, and I said that about, how the Antichrist and all of a sudden, the Antichrist, oh my God, the, holy shit, the non-God believer and stuff like that, atheist, about what he said in this and that how you can't use faith as like proof, this and that. And it's crazy, right? When you think about it, it's crazy. But your proof is in your heart and it's up here. And that's where the proof comes from. He doesn't, and then that priest, I always remember what that priest said too. I don't know where he is now, but it was a long time ago. 20 years? I don't know. Yeah, around that, 20 years. So, I always remember what he said though. And like he said, the God doesn't have to show you. You have to have faith to believe him, because it's harder. He believes in you, but you have to believe in him. All right, whatever. I'm cool. I'm back on the same path. I believe in God again. But this is seriously crazy. So whoever's listening to this, and whatever, I'm hoping that we can get some guys down here on Friday maybe, and we can have a talk about this, because there's going to be some crazy information about this, more than what I just printed out from their thing. You're going to probably be able to download and print out the entire PDF. And definitely listen for the live stream. It's going to be a live stream, so it's going to be on everything, probably YouTube too. at the Vatican press conference at noon on the day of the document's publication. So this is some serious shit right here. This is some serious shit. And even if you don't believe in any of that stuff, this is something that you should just look at it anyway and be like, yo, holy crap. This is like, they're basically, man, again, hold on, sorry, again. Come on, you, turn on. Come on, you. Don't do this to me now. Hello, hello. Oh my God. Come on, God. I ain't saying anything bad. Hello? Wow. Yo, this is crazy. Like, if it doesn't turn back on. Hello? 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 I got like... There you go. That should work. Yeah, okay. Yo, that was crazy. I was like getting a little scared now. I was like, did God just pull my microphone so that I can't talk anymore? Oh, Lord. But like I said, this is like something that you should like really look into. And just remember this Friday, it's being released at noon. And the document's going to be on their website so you can download it and then read it for yourself. And I'm so interested to find out what's in here. I cannot wait. Today is Tuesday. Oh, man, it's a whole day. Oh, man, a whole couple days away, bro. I'm off on Friday. Ooh, this is going to be good. That'd be a good podcast, I think. All right, well, whatever. All right, thanks, guys, for listening. Sorry about a couple times the mic dropped out. Like I said, I'm here, and I'm going to keep pushing out that content and make these episodes because, there's stuff, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I want to talk about it with you. Remember, our whole motto thing was life is crazy, so let's talk about it, and that's serious. Let's talk about it. As we go into more and more episodes, we're getting better as it goes anyway, but, we're going to be adding and putting more things into the program. All right, guys, have a good night. Have a great week. Well, what's left of the week, and even if nobody's around here at for the podcast this coming up weekend, I'm definitely gonna have another podcast about what's being released on the 17th. There's still a bunch of other stuff I want to talk about, but let's end this now. It's in an hour. I don't have everybody here, which we can go 2-3 hours into. But all right, have a blessed week. Peace out.